is Aisha of Aisha Designed It, and welcome back to my channel. Well, today I am super excited because I'm back with you all. Woo! So as you see, I have my background is a little different, but today I am coming on here because I had one of my subscribers wanted me to talk about my very first pop-up shop. I was a vendor at a pop-up shop the first of this month. This is March, so the pop-up shop was March the 1st through the 3rd, and I was a vendor in Selma, Alabama at the Jubilee. So the Jubilee happens every year from it's usually from Friday to Sunday, and on Sunday is what they call the Bloody Sunday. And what that is when Martin Luther King and a lot of other leaders marched from Selma to Montgomery. So I really enjoyed myself. It was my very first Jubilee, so I was excited. So I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about being a vendor at a pop-up shop, especially if it's your first time being a vendor. So I have some things written down, y'all. I had to write it down so I wouldn't forget. Now, the way I have this written, there's no particular order. I just wrote it down as I was thinking about it. So let's go ahead and cover this. But first of all, I want to say, don't forget to like, comment, share this video, and subscribe to my channel. All right, so first of all, I'm going to talk about what I learned. So what I learned is, first of all, y'all, to get started early. Get started early. So once you become a vendor, you get everything in order, then you're going to be a vendor. Start doing maybe like research to see what it is that you're going to sell. I'm going to use my experience as an example. I was a vendor at Jubilee. So at Jubilee, there's a lot of people. So I knew by it being the Selma to Montgomery March, I wanted to have t-shirts. I wanted to have tumblers. I did, I think I did keychains. I did a lot of things because by it being my first time, I did not know what to bring. And so I just brought a lot of different things that I thought people would want or what they wanted to purchase. So I actually, if you all remember, if you all been watching me a while, then I always tell you about my oldest daughter, and I call her my little artist. So what she did back in 2020, which we all know what happened, everything was shutting down and everything in 2020, but she did this huge drawing, and it was part of the Selma to Montgomery March. It was the Emma Pettis Bridge that she drew, and she drew some other things. So when I went back, I have it in my hallway. So when I went back there to my hallway, I knew I wanted to put that drawing on shirts and tumblers. So what I did, I took a picture of it and did everything that I needed to do to put it on a shirt. And I also put it on tumblers. I had mouse pads. I had a lot of different things with the Selma to Montgomery March on it. I had the bridge and some other things that she did in her artwork. So that's what I used. Now if you're gonna do, I'm just gonna throw this out for a little extra tip. This is how I have my daughter to do. If you're gonna do some artwork that is originally yours, make sure you sign your name. So everything that my daughter do that is original, because like I was telling the people, you can't find this. You cannot find this on Etsy. You can't find this anywhere. The drawing that my daughter did. So always, no matter what, sign your name to your artwork, okay? And sign it in an area where nobody can remove it or any of that. So I just wanted to throw that out there. All right, so getting back to being a vendor at the pop-up shop. So what I did, I took all of those different items with us, with my husband and I, and my children went to Selma. We took it with us. And but the thing about it is, I did not get started early. I started preparing for this maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks before, and that was all my fault because now I'm rushing. Now I'm rushing to go ahead and try to get these tumblers done. I'm trying to get the mouse pads done. I'm trying to get the coasters done because I took all of those items with me. So my recommendation to you for your first vendor event is to get started early. First of all, do your research. Now, what I mean about do your research is I was a vendor at the Jubilee. So I already kind of knew about Jubilee anyway, because like I said, it's the Bloody Sunday and it's the Selma to Montgomery March. But I also did some more research on the Jubilee, just something, for me. I did research what people would buy. So make sure you can research that, because sometimes you can find what people would be looking for. I couldn't find that. That wasn't available to me. At least I didn't see it. But I had to go on my own, like I said before, what I thought people would want. Now, one of the ladies who told me about being a vendor, she kind of told me, she said, bring plenty of t-shirts and I think she said tumblers. So that's what I did. I brought some t-shirts and tumblers, but I'm going to tell you later on the main items that people purchase. All right, so make sure you do your research. With me, this is something I wanted to do for a while. Now, being a vendor at a pop-up shop is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. But when I did my research to be a vendor at the pop-up shop, a lot of time the shop where I wanted to be a vendor, they had already filled up, or I just didn't, know how to go about it, because like I told you before, I'm not a big talker. And in order to be a vendor, most times you would have to kind of talk a little bit, because you need to ask around. If you can, you need to do your research, search Google, type in vendor events in your area. Because what I was doing, I was typing in vendor events in Alabama, because that's where I am. So if you're in New York, type in vendor events in New York. Maybe you can ask some, if you have like some type of place you get your mail, maybe you can ask around just to see who is having a vendor event. Because in larger cities, I'm sure you can find plenty of pop-up shops or plenty of people that you can talk to and ask about being a vendor at events. Okay, and so like I said, I wanted to do it for a while, and the opportunity arose. God just made the opportunity available to me at the right time, because at the time I wanted to do it, it probably wasn't for me. So one of the ladies that I know, she was telling me about the vendor, being a vendor, and she told me, she was like, come on, bring your items. She said, you make some really great items. She said, bring everything. She said, this is the Jubilee, and I know that you will sell, a lot of your items. So that's what I did. Like I said, I have things written down, so I'm looking down. Okay, so another thing, like I said, research and only do the ones that you feel comfortable with. Now, what I mean about that, sometimes you will find vendor opportunities, but you may not be comfortable with that particular pop-up shop. Make sure you know the location, because that's part of it also. You want to be safe. So make sure you know the location, that the location is a great location, because you don't want to go somewhere and then, you set up and the location is not safe. Now you're having to take everything down, or you may have to rush and take things down and, put them in your car and leave. So just make sure that you do your research to make sure the area and wherever the vendor event is taking place is safe. I will also suggest making a few items of just say tumblers. For me, I would make just a few items of tumblers, t-shirts, keychains, or whatever it is that you make. And when you become a vendor, then you just take those few items with you. Now, if you sell out, then, you already know what it is that you need to, once you become a vendor again, you will know exactly what it is that you need to take back, because you know what it is that the people want. So what I did, I made a lot of things. I really did. We took things down there on Friday, and we took some more on Saturday. So when I took those things, I did not sell everything, even though I wanted to sell everything that I took. But like I said, it was my very first time being a vendor. I sold a lot of things, but I did not sell out. My whole thing was to sell out. but I didn't. So when I go back next year, I will know what items that I need to take, the items that I sold a lot of this time. Now, don't get me wrong, sometimes it could be different because it could be a different crowd of people. So what I would suggest doing is taking, like I said before, a little bit of everything, but take more of the items that you sold the year before. So for me, my hottest items that I was selling was tumblers. So I would take more tumblers. I did coasters. I sold tumblers, coasters, and what else did I sell? It was something else that I sold. So I would take more tumblers and I would take more coasters because those were the most items that I sold, that, you know, sold out for me. I still had some left because I took a lot of tumblers. So next time I would know exactly how many to take, because you really don't want to have a waste. Even though you can, you know, remake your tumblers and everything. And a lot of the shirts that I made, it had the Jubilee 2024 on it. So usually those shirts, you know, if it's a whole new year, a lot of those shirts maybe won't sell. But if you want to, you can take them back and just sell them for maybe half off or 75% or something like that, just to see, because sometimes people will buy older shirts. Some people don't care about the date on it. You know, they just want something with the Jubilee or whatever event that you're at that says it regardless of the year that it have on it. So next year when I go, I'll probably still take some of the 2024 shirts, but those shirts will be greatly discounted because I still want to make a return on my investment, even though I may not make all of what I wanted to make. It's better to make something than to come back, you know, and then to make nothing. All right, so another thing, like I said, I'm not going in any order. I'm just going how I wrote this down. Okay, so the next thing I have, see what sells the best at the pop-up shop. Then when you go back, you will know what to take. I just talked about that. You will most likely have to, okay, so this is another thing that I want to talk about, because I know a lot of us, you know, you think you're going to be a vendor at a pop-up shop, but one thing about, you have to pay a vendor's fee. Okay, so vendor's fee is something that a lot of these pop-up shops or the owner of the pop-up shop or whoever is doing the pop-up shop will ask for. So the amount that you have to pay as a vendor, it could be as low as maybe $50, or it could be as high as, I don't know, $200 or more. It just depends on the person who is who's doing the pop-up shop, the organizer. So for me, I did have to pay a vendor's fee. And so you will know how much to price your items for. Just say, for instance, it just depends on what the person wants. You can pay before the vendor, before you actually become a vendor, which most people will want their money up front. Or you can pay, if they allow you to pay afterwards, you can pay when the event is over. It just depends on the person, like I said, the organizer who is organizing the event. And so just make sure you have that in mind so that you can put in your budget. Because like I said, you will have to pay a vendor's fee. Now, sometimes you may find one where you don't have to pay, but most likely you will have to pay some type of fee. So if you're selling and you do have to pay after the event is over, then just make sure you just pull that out of because this is part of your business. This still is part of your business at the pop-up shop. So you will have to pull, I'm going to say you don't have to, but it's always great to pull that money from what you made at the pop-up shop, instead of having to go and pull it from your personal money. Because remember, we want to keep our business and personal funds separate. I'm going to talk about that later. But you always want to make sure that you pay your vendor's fee out of your business money. So that's what, that's how I did. Just make sure that you know about your vendor's fee, and make sure you talk to the person who is the organizer, or whoever the founder, whoever is doing it, to see what the fee will be, and if you can pay up front or you can pay after the event. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about, if you get a chance, go see the location. I talked to you about that, where it is, what surrounds it, get a feel of it. Okay. So like I said, mine was in Selma. I know about Selma, Alabama. I don't know a lot about Selma, but I do go to Selma, and I know the area. Plus, I knew the people who was giving the the actual person at the location. So I knew them. If you can, get a list of other vendors. Now this is another one here, and I would say this is one of the most important ones. If you can, get a list of the other vendors who will be at the pop-up shop. The reason why I say this is because you want to make sure that you are the only one. If not the only one, you don't want to have a lot of other people selling what you sell. And the reason why I say that is because when you have a lot of other people selling what you sell, then it may be to a point where what you're selling, you may not sell it. You see what I'm saying? Because there's other people there selling the same items. Now, I'm a big believer in, like I always tell you, you are you, and can't nobody do like you. And can't nobody make what you make. I mean, they can, but you are unique. Just like me. There's a lot of people who do tumblers. There's a lot of people who do t-shirts. But they don't make them like me. Okay? That's not bragging. That's not being, oh, she this. No, that's the truth. Because we all have our unique ways of making things. We all put our own spin on things. So just because someone is there selling the same thing as you doesn't mean that you won't make a sale. But what I'm saying is, try to limit being a vendor at an event where a lot of people are selling the same things. Now, I don't want to get too ahead of myself. So make sure they're not selling the same thing as you are. Now, like I said, don't get me wrong. We all have different designs. But when you're the only one selling certain items, more times than likely, you will get great sales because you are the only one there selling that item. Let's see. Another thing that I want to talk, I don't want to get ahead of myself. So let me just, stay in line here. Okay, so the next thing, and let me talk about this. So when I was a vendor at the Jubilee, I was the only one there selling sublimation, t-shirts, tumblers, keychains, the things that I was selling. Now, there was another lady who was selling baked goods. She was selling cupcakes and all of those things. There was another girl there, which I absolutely love because she was in high school. So that just goes to show that, hey, entrepreneur, you're never too old or too young to be an entrepreneur. She was selling her items. And it was another lady selling her items. She was selling jewelry. And it was another one. She was selling something else. So one thing about it, we all supported each other. I got up from my area and I went and I purchased some cupcakes. My daughter wanted some cupcakes. We purchased that. We went to the other lady. And we were supporting other people. And they were supporting us. They came over. They bought tumblers. I had mugs also. One of the girls bought a mug. And so everyone supported each other. So make sure you take extra money to support the other vendors. Now, if you're going to be a vendor at a pop-up shop where there is thousands of vendors, now you may not be able to support everyone, but you can support one or two, maybe 3 people that, you want to support. But make sure you go around and you talk to as many people as you can, because connections are really, really important. I'm going to tell you about the connection that I found while I was there. Okay, so another thing is don't be afraid to open your mouth to get a sale. So what I did, it was one of the guys who came in there. He purchased a drink because where I was a vendor at, it was like a restaurant. So they had vendors inside the restaurant, but it was right there. So if we step outside, we could see the bridge. So it was really wonderful. But he came in there and he purchased a drink. So I was like, what can I say? So my husband always tell me, he was like, you got to speak up when you come into your, to your business. So I was like, okay, so I'm going to talk. I'm going to speak up. So when he got his drink and he paid, I said, don't you need a tumbler to go with that drink or to pour that drink in? He was like, yeah, I do. He was like, what is it that you're selling? He came over there, he was looking, he was like, let me get that one. So he purchased the tumbler. So a lot of times you have to talk. Even though I know you may be afraid or you may be a little shy like me, I'm not really shy. I used to be coming up, but I just don't talk a whole lot. But now I'm in business, I have learned to talk up more, even in my event biz, because I'm an event designer. I've been an event designer for a while. So I had to learn how to talk up in my event business also. So now that I do t-shirts and tumblers here, I have to learn how to talk up. And so that's what I did, and I got a sale. So just remember, don't be afraid to speak up. All right, so another thing is make sure you take you some cash with you. Now, I had a lady on here, and I'm sorry, I forgot her name again, but thank you again. You know who you are, for telling me to bring cash. Because y'all, like I told you, don't rush. I was rushing and I did not think about the cash, because I did have people come in there. When I say cash, I mean cash to make change. So I did have people come in there using cash. So when people pay you, like the guy I was talking about who bought the tumbler, he gave me cash. So when people give you cash, you have to make change. Just say, for instance, something that you sell is $25. They give you a $50. So you got to give them $25 back. So you have to have change in order to you have to have cash in order to make change. So I think it was like $160 with me. And another thing that is absolutely amazing to take too is a cash register or a box, because you want to make sure you have something to keep the cash in. You also want to make sure you have change. And when I said change, you want to have quarters, nickels, dimes, pennies, just in case, you have to give that type of change also. So I had like $160, and I had some quarters, nickels, dimes, pennies, things like that. So make sure you have a little cash. I did have to buy me a cash register. And it's just like a real cash register, but you don't have to go and purchase anything. You can use a cute little box. You can go buy a box from the Dollar Tree, Michael's, Hobby Lobby. All those places have boxes that you can use. So make sure you take cash to make change. All right. So, another thing that I had to take with me, because I had a lot of people using cash, plus I had more people had credit cards. Now, I have Shopify. That is my website, and make sure y'all go and check out my website, www.aishadesignit.com. I have some amazing graduation designs on there. I have digital products, I have t-shirts, my rhinestones, I have all of that. So I had to put that out there, okay? Y'all go and check me out. Go and purchase from my website. All right, so I have Shopify. So with Shopify, I use a credit card reader. So, and it links directly into my Shopify account, because this is my business. I want to make sure I keep up with, my business money. So what I did, I purchased one of the card readers that connects to my Shopify account. So that's what I did. I used my iPad and I connected that credit card reader to my iPad, and I was able to collect the credit card payments that way. And it's safe. That's a good thing. Make sure that they have all of the encryptions and all of that everything in it, so that you can keep everyone's information safe. So one thing about it, for Shopify and the credit card reader that I have, you don't see the people's credit card information. You don't see any of that. They swipe it or tap it. I have the swipe or the tap. They either tap it or swipe it. However they decide to do, I let them do it, and it goes straight through. Now, one thing I know about Shopify too, if it's something that you know, it's not registering correctly, or something wrong with the credit card or something, it will let you know. So that's what I like about it. But I didn't have any problems with it. Everything went through. And the way I have it set up with Shopify, you can either have the Shopify, I think it's like a little card that they give you, or you can have it going directly to your bank account. Now, Shopify payments, you can choose if you want it weekly. I think it's bi-weekly, monthly, however you want to, you know, choose for your money to go into your account. It's completely and totally up to you. But if you have a website, check with your website to make sure that you do have, get you a credit card processor where you can process credit cards, because you don't want anyone to come up there with a credit card and all you have is cash. You don't have any way to get their information. Now, you can use Cash App. I know one of the ladies there was using Cash App. I'm not big on Cash App. You know, I've never been big on the Cash App, especially when it comes to business, but that's totally up to you and how you want to run your business. But make sure you have some type of way where you can take credit card payments, or some type of way that they can give you the money if you don't have that. Okay. And another thing too, it would be great for you to have a website, because just say, for instance, you take tumblers. I'm going to use tumblers. You take, just say, for instance, you take 10 tumblers. All 10 of your tumblers sell out. So now you have people like, okay, I want to buy tumblers. You can send them directly to your website. But if you don't have a website, then you will have to tell them, okay, contact me at this number, or I contact you when I get home. I make the tumblers or whatever, you know, for you. So it's always good to have a website. So right then you can send them to your website. They see the tumbler that they want, they can go ahead and order it. When you get home, or if you have a company to make your tumblers, or you make them yourself, however you do it, you have a sale. So when you get back home, all you have to do is make your tumbler, send it to them when you get home, and you know, that's that. But if you don't have a website, you will have to tell them, you know, wait till I get home, give them your information, but never ever miss a sale. Do what you have to do if you do not have a website, but don't miss a sale. Okay, that's even with whatever you sell. It doesn't matter. I'm saying tumblers because that's what I do. All right, so let's keep it moving. Like I told you before, make connections if possible, but be careful, attentive, and don't give out too much personal information. And sometimes, you know, if somebody come up there, oh, I want you to do this, I want you to do that, and a lot of times we give out too much personal information. Just give out the information that you need to give out. Tell them, hey, here's my business card, because in Selma, I had someone because I design. I do a lot of designs. My own designs. So I had one of the guys, he was like, look, he said, this is what I do. He said, I'm in events. He said, and he also was down there selling like jackets and things. And so he told me, he was like, hey, he said, do you think you can do like 15 designs for me? And how much would you charge? So we talked about that, and I told him, I said, well, my daughter, she's an artist. She actually draw. My daughter hand draw things. And he looked at her, he was like, oh, you hand draw this, you know, everything that was on the tumblers and the shirts. And he was like, okay. He said, I'm gonna get with you so that you can design some things for me, and then we can talk about price and everything like that. So yeah, so that was a connection. So make sure you try to get as many connections as possible, especially with what you do, because some people sew, and some people may need someone to sew them something. So now you got a connection. Like me, I do my own designs. I can do my own designs, and I got that connection with him. So a lot of times you get connections that you don't even know that, you know, is out there. So just believe, trust the process. Okay, trust the process. And remember, don't give out too much information. Just give out the information that they ask you. And if they, you know, when you touch base with them, and always, when you do something, make sure you get things in writing. And what I mean by that, like the designs and everything, make sure you know exactly what, I would make sure I know exactly what he wants. I would make sure he send me exactly what he wants so that I can get the designs correct. Send him, make sure that you let them know, hey, I need a deposit up front. I don't say deposits because in my event business, I learned not to say the word deposit because a lot of people can take deposits and twist that, because a lot of times deposits are refundable. I said non-refundable. Okay, non-refundable. And what that do, that helps you because just say for instance, you know, they may want something. I'm just going to say it's $100. When they give you a 50%, I do 50%. A 50% deposit, that means they're giving you $50. So just say for instance, they don't want it. You got $50. Or if they do, then you always make sure you collect the remaining $50 before you send them the design or send them whatever it is that they want. Okay, always collect your money first. All right, so another thing I want to say is bring plenty of business cards. Make sure you have your business cards. If you don't have any business cards, order you some business cards. I got my business card from Vistaprint. Yeah, Vistaprint. So they have some great business cards. Very reasonable, but there's a lot of places out there, so just research it, okay? All right, another thing is, excuse me, y'all, make a sign with your business name and a QR code. So I actually had shirts. I did my shirts with all of that information on it. And y'all, QR codes are amazing because people, you know, sometimes people take business cards, sometimes they don't, sometimes they'll throw them away. But when you have a QR code, you scan it, they can scan it with their phone and it pop up just like that. So I have a QR code, and what mine does, it goes directly to my website. So just make sure you have a QR code that goes directly to whatever you want them to go to, okay? They can scan it with their phones, like I said before. I would recommend everyone have a website, like I told you before. If you have a business, it looks more professional. Also have, another thing is have a business phone number. Now, I have a business phone number, and I've been had this business phone number for a while because, like I said, I'm an event decorator, event designer. So when people contacted me, when they wanted me to do, because I've done weddings, I've done birthday parties, I've done a lot of events. So a lot of people contacted me through my actual business phone number. I have a personal phone. This right here is my personal phone. I don't give anyone that my personal phone number because this is personal. This is only for my family, friends, people who really know me, okay? Now, my business phone number is for my business. So that's the number that you give out. Now, do some research to see, because you may can find some free business phone numbers. If you don't have the money, don't go in debt trying to get you a phone to have a business phone number. And see, we have like, I think we have like four or five different lines. So I was able to go ahead and get my business phone on some of the lines that we have. So just see if you can get a free business phone number, that would be excellent. But some kind of way, have a business number so you will not have to give out your personal number, because you don't want to do that. You don't want to give out your personal number. You want to keep it, you know, business savvy. All right. Let's see. Oh, email address. Now for me, I have Gmail. I have had in my event business, the event decor designs by Aisha.com. But I haven't had that here in this business here. Aisha designed it, but I'm planning to get one. Right now I have a Gmail. Now that's fine also, but as you grow, make sure you eventually get you a business email address. It looks more professional, but you know, I always say, you know, like my motto here on this channel, learn as you grow. But in this area, you know, you just continue to grow, and as you grow, you can get more stuff to help make your business more professional. But when you just starting off, don't go and get all this stuff. Don't go get all this expensive stuff. If you can find something free, get it for free. If you can find a free business email address, get it. If you can find a free business phone number, get it. Just do your research. Okay? Let's see. Okay, it says look around to see what other people are selling. That's another thing. Look around to see what other people are selling. Even here on YouTube, we call it a niche. Even if it's not in your niche, just still kind of look around, you know, and just be observant of what other people are doing, what other people are selling, how they're selling, you know, what they have on, their t-shirt, things like that. Now, one thing, I'm not a big believer in stealing people's stuff. I'm more of being observant, seeing what they have, and then making it your own. You know, don't go out there stealing people's stuff, because we don't want to do that. We want to do right regardless of if people looking or if they're not looking, because one person who is always watching us is God. So you want to do right, but just go around, look and see how people are, you know, conducting their business, how they're handling their business and things like that, what they're selling. Don't go and take nobody's designs or their, you know, any of that. Okay, I'm not saying that, but just kind of be observant, see what people selling, see how they're doing, especially if this is your first time being a vendor. And that's how I was doing, because one of the girls, she had, like I told you, a sign on the front of her table. I did not think about a sign because, like I said, I was rushing, but that would have been great for me to have. I probably would have did something different. She had a sign. I probably would have did, you know, something else. Okay, because I don't like being like other people. That's just me. I've been like that ever since I was a little girl. I always like to be different because we're all unique. All right, so yeah, see what their top and hot sellers are. I don't believe in stealing people's ideas and styles, but it's okay to see what works for them and recreate it your way. For me, what sets me apart, I do a lot of my own designs. I just told you that. Even though I may use some, you know, like creative fabric or things like that, always be yourself and use your uniqueness, because we are all are unique in our own way, and that sets us apart from the rest. Okay, so don't make it a competition. When you can be a vendor, don't make it a competition. It's not a competition. We all are there as vendors to sell our items. We all are there to make a profit, to make some money. We all are there to make connections. We all are there to, even some people, to make friendships, because you never know what type of friend that you can make at these events. Okay? We don't, over here for me, I don't do competition. I don't want to be your competitor. I'd rather collaborate with you. You know, because we all here doing the same thing. You know, yours may be even better than mine, but that's okay. We can collaborate. Mine might be better than yours, but guess what? I'm all about helping other people and being a blessing to other people. Competition shouldn't even enter your mind. All right, so another thing that I was saying, don't feel threatened by others who's in the same industry. Try to make sure you have, another thing, make sure you have your table toward the front of the door, or the front of wherever people will be coming in. So like us, we was in a restaurant. So my table was toward the front of the door. Now, there was 2 front doors that we could come through. My table was at the front of one of the main doors, and someone else's table was at the front of the other main door. So when they walked in, they came directly to my table. So make sure that your table, if you can, all the time you can't, but make sure your table is at the front of the door where people are walking in. Because if not, then if it's just, say for instance, it's at the back, you know, a lot of time people have already come through. They may not even come to your table. Or if someone else is selling what you're selling, they're going to go ahead and go to that person first. It may not come to you because you're in the back. But if you can, make sure you can get your table in the front. All right. And also make sure your items stand out from the rest. If you have to use, you know, maybe you can raise your items up on your table, or whatever you can do to make yours stand out. Have color. You know, choose your brand colors. You know, pops of colors are really great, can stand out from the rest. All right, another thing, ask if you need to bring your own table, tablecloth, chairs, etc. I didn't have to do any of that. All of that was there for me. The tables was there, the chairs was there, everything that I needed was there. All I had to do was bring my items. Okay, so just so happened I did not have to bring any of those things, just my products. Another thing I would recommend is make sure you have a banner of some type. Like I said, a sign or a banner. You know, that have something on it that in case the person needs to contact you later. Your email address, your phone number, QR code, something on it where if someone needs to contact you, they can. All right, it can be on the table, it can be beside the table, in front of the table, however, you know, this is your business, so however you want to set it up. Always make sure you have your bag. Now, what I mean about your bag, your thank you bags. Just say, for instance, when people are purchasing, just say for me, I'm going to use me for an example. When the guy purchased the tumblers that, you know, purchased my tumblers, I left my bags at home. I had gorgeous bags, y'all, pink bags, thank you bags. And like I said, make sure you get started early because I left all of my bags here. And when I got there, I told my husband, I was like, I left all my bags. So the people was very understanding because I was like, look, I don't have a bag to put this in. They was like, oh, that's okay. So, you know, make sure you have your bags. One of the other guys who were buying something for his mom. And I told him, I said, I'm sorry, I left my bags. Always be upfront and honest with the people who purchase them from you. You know, don't try to say, oh, my bag over there. No, if you left it, just be honest because people like honesty. So I was just like, I left my bag. I'm sorry about that. And it was like, okay, that's fine. So always be honest and upfront with them. Okay. Most of all, though, even you may leave your bags, but don't forget your products. Make sure you have them products because you want to make sure you sell. It's okay to leave your bags that, you know, you can hold things in your hand or do something, but make sure you always take your products. So I had my products, I just left my bag. So, and make sure you get your cash register, your box. Make sure you get money for change, your business cards, your credit card payment processors. Let me see what I always have. It's always great to have, oh, another thing. It's always great to have someone that you can take with you. Now, I had my husband and my children went with me. So just say, for instance, you may need to go to the bathroom. You can have your husband or someone that you trust to sit there at the table. You may want to go get a bite to eat. You may want to go get something. So you can have somebody that you trust to sit at your table so that if someone want to come in to buy something, they can handle that or they can make sure they keep up with the money. But just say, for instance, you don't have anyone to go with you, then just do the best you can when it comes to having to go to the bathroom or go get your bite to eat. Make sure you take your cash register with you if you need to. Take your box with you. Take the money out the box, put it in your pocket. Do what you need to do. But I always say it's best to have somebody that you trust to go with you when you're a vendor at your first pop-up shop. And like I said, it don't have to be your first, but always have somebody to go with you. So I'm trying to make sure this is it. Yeah, y'all, that's it. That's all I can think of right now. I do have some pictures. I took a video and some pictures, and I'm going to be putting them at the end of this video, so make sure you watch to the very end. Y'all, this video is about 40 minutes long, but I know I had someone to ask me about my being a vendor at a pop-up shop, and I hope I gave y'all some great information about being a vendor, some things that you shouldn't, you don't want to forget. You want to make sure that you take along with you. And y'all, I am so super excited because I'm ready for my next pop-up, being a vendor at my next pop-up shop. So I hope that you all have an amazing day. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Make sure you watch to the end of the video. I have a picture of my setup, and I hope that you all have your first vendor event. When you do, make sure you come back here and let me know in the comment section. Let me know how it went. Let me know how everything went. Like I said, everything may not go great the first time. Then it may go really great. It just depends. You may not sell everything, but that's okay. I didn't sell everything either, but I did make some good money. So that's all that matters. So you all have a great day, and I will see y'all in my next video.